Hare Krishna. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gnana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militaminat Tasmaishi Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapit Mene Bhutale Svavarpakadamahyam Dagdatis Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shutapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakarshtam Sahagna Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishapanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Hare Krishna Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Iti Namine Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatya Dashatarine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatya Dashatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Śrīvasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Śrīvasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Śrīvasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Now I will again try to read from Gaudiya Darsana and the Gayatri book. Gaudiya Darsana, as you all know, this is a lecture of His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Thakura Prabhupada, the Diksha Guru of His Divine Grace, Abhayacharana Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And this lecture, he gave this lecture in India, and it is translated for the first time in English from Sri Prema Prayojana Prabhu. Also, there are his commentaries there, and I will continue to read from this beautiful book. Jai Shri Jai His Divine Grace Jai His Divine Grace Abhayacharana Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Thakura Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prema Prayojana Prabhu. So I think I have reached the paragraph. Meta-sensory knowledge is inaccessible in Abhignata Vada. It is never possible to attain meta-sensory knowledge. Oh, sorry, I think, no, it is a paragraph before that, I think. Oh, no. Okay, I think the paragraph before is also not written yet from me. So, the incompleteness of sense perception. Ravana tried to ascend towards heaven through empiric activity. Akshaja Chesta. If we try to imitate him by building a starway of understanding based upon the foundation of things in the external world, then we will not attain the good fortune of genuine Ananda, which is the most cherished desire of our soul. Even scholars such as Sir Isaac Newton have heartily accepted the insignificant nature of worldly knowledge and science, stating, "What to speak of entering into the ocean of knowledge? I have not even touched it. I am only standing on the shore, collecting a few fragments of broken stone." So this have said such Sir Newton. The next paragraph I will read the next time. Jai Shri Prema Prayojana Prabhu. Jai His Divine Grace Abhayacharana Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Thakura Prabhupada, whose lecture we are reading now in English. Now, the next book which I would like to continue to read is the Gayatri book of His Holiness Sachinandana Swami. I have reached the chapter 3, I think. Yes, chapter 3, and this is the paragraph rising to Sattva Guna. One essential step towards becoming a true Brahmana, a person situated in transcendence, is to learn to live in the mode of goodness. In his teachings to Uddhava, Sri Krishna states, Satvikane eva sivata prava sattva vidhaya tato darshanas tato jnanam yadvachito apachana. So this is a gray. These are some gray letters there. I have to take the lamp. I don't see it. Yes. There are some gray letters there. So just a moment. So first. So I will try to sing it. What Sri Krishna says to Uddhava. Satvikane eva siveta poma sattva vidaya tato dharmas tato jnanam yavat smritir apolana. A person who has received his direct knowledge of the eternal soul will easily drive away the illusion of identifying with the material body and mind. This wrong identification with body and mind is caused by the three modes of material nature. Therefore, as long as one has not yet attained the transcendental stage, where one directly perceives the soul, one must cultivate a life in sattva guna. The reason is that by increasing the mode of goodness, one automatically can understand and practice religious principles. And by such praxis, one's transcendental knowledge is awakened. Footnote 3. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:13:6. In other words, it is easy to rise from the mode of goodness in the plane of pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva, the transcendental level free of anything of the lower modes, Tamas and Rajas. This is because a person situated in Sattva Guna is able to mold his spiritual life in such a way that irreligion is vanished and transcendental realization is automatically awakened. The mode of goodness is like a springboard to the transcendental stage. Under the influence of the lower modes of passion and ignorance. However, it is almost impossible to come directly to the transcendental level. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura explains that Rajoguna and Tamoguna are the causes of 5 powerful obstacles which keep the door to, to transcendence solidly locked. 1. Laya, the tendency to sleep, the tendency to sleep during chanting, hearing, and remembering. Yes. 2. Vikshepa, distraction, which prevents one from becoming absorbed in chanting. 3. Apratipati, chronic lack of enthusiasm, which prevents one from performing devotional service, even when not troubled by sleepiness or distraction. 4. Kashaya, Kashaya, the reappearance of old habits such as anger, greed, pride during one's practice of hearing and chanting. 5. Rasasvada, having no taste for rasa, the blissful mellows experienced in a transcendental relationship with Sri Krishna. So here is again a footnote number 4. This is from Madhurya Kadambini. From Madhurya Kadambini. A person afflicted by those obstacles is unable to taste the nectar of Krishna consciousness. Surely all devotees must have experienced these 5 disturbing guests at one time or another and asked themselves, disheartened, when they will ever become free of them. The only solution is to rise to the mode of goodness, leaving behind Rajaguna and Tamaguna, the modes that cause these obstacles. Devotees established in Sattva Guna become completely happy. Once situated in goodness, they find it easier to rise to the transcendental platform of unalloyed goodness. So I will try to read a little bit more quickly because otherwise I will not finish the paragraph in, in time. If we examine what we have been through as a movement over the past 35 years, we will find many examples that prove how difficult it is for a person situated in ignorance to jump to transcendental God consciousness. By Krishna's special mercy, such persons may experience enthusiasm at the beginning of their spiritual lives, but they will fail to maintain a steady level of sadhana over time. Later, they fall back to the plane, to the place from which they started their spiritual adventure. Although there are many causes of spiritual fall down, we should be aware that cultivating a life in sattva guna is an essential prophylaxis against failure. Srila Prabhupada therefore says, one cannot be a devotee unless one at least qualifies as a brahmana. But that is not the end of it. One has to surpass the stage of a Brahmana and to reach the Vasudeva stage to understand the personality of Godhead, Krishna. When a qualified Brahmana factually becomes a Vaishnava in the enlivened stage of liberation, he can know what is actually the personality of Godhead. Footnote 5. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 20, purport. The practice of chanting Gayatri proves a good example for how necessary the qualities of goodness are. Such qualities include, among others, peacefulness and self-control. We cannot advance without them. For example, as we will explain later, it is a Brahmana's duty to chant Gayatri Japa during the three sadhyas of the day. A person who is still strongly influenced by passion and ignorance, and who has therefore not developed peacefulness and self control, will not be able to follow this instruction on a regular basis. As a result, he or she will unintentionally commit offenses against the presiding deities of the mantras, who after some time will withdraw their mercy from this passionate Brahmana. Such a persons will not experience revelation, transcendental revelation while chanting, and will therefore find their enthusiasm for spiritual practice gradually fading. Sattva guna will help us attain nishta bhakti, where devotional service is performed in a steady, peaceful, and self-controlled way, with the unshakable faith nourished by spiritual revelation. Of course, if we practice concentrated shravanam and kirtanam, carefully avoiding all offenses, we will certainly attain nishta. But how will we avoid the offenses if we are still influenced by the five unwanted guests invited by Rajas and Tamas? It will benefit our practice if we become keenly aware of the need to rise to the mode of goodness. As a driver has to occasionally look as a driver has to occasionally look at road signs to ascertain whether he is still on course. A person who follows the road of bhakti has to look for signs to ascertain if he is becoming free from the lower modes and rising to the mode of goodness. If he is attentive, he will be able to connect, to correct. If he is attentive, he will be able to correct himself and thus, with the help of his spiritual activities, reach the desired destination. Śrīla Swami gives us an important hint about what signs to look for in ourselves to see if we are on the proper course. The most important criterion for deciding whether to deal with someone as a Brahmana or as a member of another Varna is the presence or absence of self control and similar Brahmanical qualities. So, yes, this is in the footnote is written, this is quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24, 330 in the purport. We can safely conclude that we will experience true Krishna conscious realization only upon being established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, and that the general way to reach this stage is to develop sattva guna, thus becoming free from the dangerous influences of tama and raja guna. Krishna confirms this in his instructions to Uddhava. Sattvinanyatamohana sattvam sattvimachaiva sattvadanabhavedrita pumso bhakti lakshana dharma rajas tamohana sattva vritir anutama ashunashyati tanmula iyadana ubaye hate. By development of material goodness, one can conquer the modes of passion and ignorance. And by cultivation of transcendental goodness, one may free oneself even from material goodness. When the living entity becomes strongly situated in the mode of goodness, then religious principles characterized by devotional service to me, says Krishna, become prominent. Religious principles, strengthened by the mode of goodness, destroy the influence of passion and ignorance. When passion and ignorance are overcome, their original cause, irreligion, is quickly vanished. So, footnote 7, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:13, verses from 1 to 3. For further illumination on this topic, please study Srimad Bhagavatam 1-2, verses 19 to 21, including Srila Prabhupada's enlightening purports. So we see how the mode of goodness must be actually very helpful on our path of Krishna consciousness, on our path to continue to be devotees. I mean, you are surely devotees, all of you. I'm just talking about me. Yes, yes. So developing the mode of goodness is very important to see. Now I will again read from Gaudiya Darsana because I read just very small part, and I will just a little bit. I'll read a little bit more, and then I will see. I will try to sing something. So, next paragraph is metasensory knowledge is inaccessible in Abhyata Vada. It is never possible to attain metasensory knowledge, adokshaya jnana, by taking shelter of the understanding abhigyata, which is attained with the help of knowledge arising from the senses' vision of the external world. When we totally abandon all identification with all worldly comprehension, so I again want to say I'm I'm reading again from Gaudiya Darsana because I read just a very small paragraph. So Jai His Holiness Sachinandana Swami, Jai the Gayatri book, and I'm reading again from Gaudiya Darshana because I read a very small paragraph. So Jai His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura Prabhupāda, Jai Shri Prema Prayojana Prabhu. Now I continue to read from the book. Just see, yes. I'm reading from the paragraph. Metasensory knowledge is inaccessible in Abhigyata Vada. So, let's see. When we totally abandon all identification with all worldly comprehension, then we can realize the Adokshaja Jnana. I have studied many scriptures. I have seen the whole world. I can persuade people to change their conceptions. With this type of attitude, we can never attain complete knowledge, Purna Jnana, pure knowledge, Shuddha Jnana, or knowledge pertaining to the state of liberation, Mukta Vashta Jnana. As it is stated in the Talavakaropanishad, Kena, Talavakaropanishad, Kena. So it is stated, I will try to sing it. Namane suvedeti, nonna vedeti vedacha, yonastadveta tatveda, nonna vedeti vedacha. Kena Upanishad 2:2. I do not think I know him fully, though others say we know him fully. Him, of course, it is meant Krishna. Nor do I say I know him, not at all, for I know. Amongst us who says, I know him, he knows him not. He who says, I do not know him, he knows indeed. So, again, the next verse from that Upanishad, Ken Upanishad 2, 3 is the next one here given. Yashamata Dasyamata Matam Yasha Navidasa Avinyata Vijanata Vignata Movignata. Ken Upanishad 2, 3. Of whom the opinion is Brahma is not to be thought of. Oh, sorry, it was him. With him was meant obviously not Krishna but Brahma. It seems. Yes. Okay. Okay. Of whom the opinion is Brahma is not to be thought of. By him he is rightly thought. He who thinks Brahma has been thought of by me, he does not know. By those who consider we have realized Brahma, he has not been realized. By those who consider we cannot fully realize Brahma, he is realized. So before in the last one, uh, with him it is meant also Lord Brahma actually. Yes, okay. So the next time I will continue with the next paragraph, which has the title Knowledge of Divisible Substances does not give rise to complete knowledge. So, Jai His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Thakura Prabhupāda, Jai Shri Prayojana Prabhu. Now I will again try to sing this uh, beautiful song which we sing during the Purushottama month. I have written it in the comments. No, not in the comments, but in somewhere in the text connected with the video. It is there. I have heard this in a lecture from a Maharaj. So we sing during the Purushottama month the following song, the following verse. Govardhana Daram Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulatsavam Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam. We sing this every day, 33 times. Well, we can also say it or chant it, and of course, if one didn't do this on one day, then the next day, and maybe we cannot fulfill it absolute every day, but again we try to come back to our how to say, if even if we miss at 1 or 2 days to say the this prayer, then we just continue after that. So, okay, what does it mean? I worship the lifter of Govardhana Hill, who has the beautiful form of a cowherd boy and who continually plays with the gopis. He's the Lord of Gokula, where every day is a festival. So I will try to sing it 33 times. Govardhana Dharavanda Gopala Goparupina Gokulatsava Mishana Govinda Gopika 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 Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopala Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavanda Gopalam Goparupina Gokulotsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Gabriel. Govardhana Dharavande Gopala Parupima Gokula Tsava Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavande Gopala Goparupina Gokula Tseva Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavande Gopala Goparupina Gokula Tseva Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavande Gopala Goparupina Gokula Tseva Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavande Gopala Goparupina Gokula Tseva Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavande Gopala Goparupina Gokula Tseva Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavande Gopala Goparupina Gokula Tseva Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Govardhana Dharavande Gopala Goparupina Gokula Tseva Mishana Govinda Gopika Priya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I will again sing this song about Lord Rama, which I have written. The incarnation of righteousness, Lord Ramachandra, appeared in Ayodya, a son of King Dasharatha, on Rama Navami. The devotees glorify Lord Rama by chanting his holiness and hearing from Ramayana on Rama Navami. The devotees glorify Lord Rama by chanting his holiness and hearing from Ramayana in Bangalore the deities of Shri Krishna Balarama are nicely decorated as Rama and Lakshmana in Bangalore. The deities of Shri Krishna Balarama are nicely decorated as Rama and Lakshmana. Their beautiful lordships, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Chandra, are lovingly ornamented as Sita and Rama, their beautiful lordships. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Chandra are lovingly ornamented as Sita and Rama, Sitaram, Sitaram, Lakshmana Hanuman, Sitaram, Sitaram, Lakshman Hanuman, Sitaram, Sitaram, Lakshman Hanuman, Sitaram, Sitaram, Lakshman Hanuman. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, I wanted also to read uh, from the um, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I have reached Madhya Lila 879. It seems. Okay. Okay. So Madhya Lila. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. The translation in English from His Divine Grace by Charanara Vrnda, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda. So this is Madhya Lila 879. Prabhukaye ehotama ageka ara raya kahe kanta prema sarvasatya sara. Translation. The Lord said, "Your statements are certainly getting better and better, one after the other. But surprising all of them is another transcendental mellow. And you can speak of that as the most sublime." Ramananda Raya then replied, "Conjugal attachment for Krishna is the topmost position in love of Godhead." Purport. from His Divine Grace Abhay Charnara Vrnda, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda. In general, love of Godhead is devoid of the intimacy of ownership. In the case of love in servitude, there is a want of confidence, there is a want of increased affection in the fraternal relationship. And even when this affection increases in the parental relationship, there is nonetheless a want of complete freedom. However, when one becomes a conjugal lover of Krishna, everything lacking in the other relationships is completely manifested. Love of Godhead lacks nothing in the conjugal stage. The summary of this verse is that parental love of Godhead is certainly higher than fraternal love, and that conjugal love is higher yet. It was when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested Ramananda Raya to go further that he came to the point of the conjugal relationship, which is the highest perfectional stage of transcendental love. So we see how beautifully Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Abhayacharya Vrnda Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupada describes this highest stage in transcendental love. We can see it also, for example, from the 8th verse of Shri Shri Shikshastaka. What he said there. Shishava Arta Padam Pinashtamam Adarshnama Mahtam Krotva. Yatata Tava Vidita Tulampato, but Pranata Stusev Naparha. Shishva Padartam Pinashtamam Adarshama Mahtam Krotva. Yatata Tava Vidita Tulampato, but Pranata Stusa Eva Naparha. O my Lord, you are the Lord of my prana, of my living heirs. That means actually, O Lord, you are the Lord of my life. And you will always remain my only Lord. You can do whatever you like. You can embrace me and make me um, the most happiest person, or um, or you can uh, break my heart by being not before me, by being a darshana marmachtam kurva, by being not in front of me. But you can do whatever you want, O Lord. You are the Lord of my prana, of my living heirs, and you will always remain my only Lord. So this is the 8th verse of Shri Shri Shikshastaka. And we all know that Shri Shri Shikshastaka was spoken from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the 16th century, and there he describes the mood of a pure devotee, the crying of a pure devotee in separation from Krishna. Because, as we know from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and from other scriptures also, in the personality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are Srimati Radhika and Sri Krishna, the divine couple. They are together in the personality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this way, in his heart is the mood of separation of Srimati Radhika from Sri Krishna, the love of Srimati Radhika to Sri Krishna, the crying in separation from a pure devotee. So, and he expresses this mood in Shri Shri Shikshastaka. We see how in the verse 8, we clearly can read this. And as we all know, stated in verse 10 in Sri Upadeshamrita of Srila Rupa Goswami, actually, the topmost pure devotee is Srimati Radhika. After her are the other gopis of Vrindavana, and after them there are also other pure devotees, but the highest, topmost pure devotee is Srimati Radhika. She's on the first place in the heart of Krishna. Krishna loves Srimati Radhika more than everybody else. So in this way, Srimati Radhika is the topmost pure devotee. After her, the next group of pure devotees are the gopis of Vrindavan in Vraja Lila. So we see how the women are actually we see how the topmost pure devotee is a woman, and the next group of topmost pure devotees are women, the gopis of Vrindavan. So we see how women are actually more advanced in devotion to the highest personality of Godhead, Krishna. So, yes, this is stated from Sri Shilurpa Goswami in the verse 10 of Sri Upadeshamrita. So, and we see again also here in this beautiful verse in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita how Srila Prabhupada in his purport, His Divine Grace Abhayacharana Ravrinda, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupada says in his purport, he says that actually the conjugal relationship is the highest perfectional stage of transcendental love. And this is, of course, the love of the pure devotees to the Lord, and on the first places are the gopis of Vrindavan, and on the first place is Srimati Radhika. So, so we see how here Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Abhayacharana Ravrinda, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupada is glorifying the love of the women devotees. So, like this. Now I would like also to try to think the Shri Narasimha Stuti and the Narasimha Shri Narasimha Stuti, glorification of Lord Narasimha. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladaladaine Hiranyakashipu Śrīla Iton Rishim Paraton Rishim Yato Yato Yamitato Rishim Bahin Rishim Hridaya Rishim Rishim Amade Charanya Prabhupada Tavakara Kamalavara Nakama Puta Shrinka Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jajagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jajagadisha Hare Namaste Narasihaya Praradalada Dayana Hiranyakashipuruksha Shilotankanakaya Iton Rishiho Paraton Rishiho Yato Yato Yamitaton Rishiho Bahir Nishiho Hridaya Nishiho Rishiho Adacharanya Prabhupada Namaste Narasihaya Namaste Narasihaya Pralada Lada Dahine Pralada Lada Dahine Hiranyakashipu Hiranyakashipu Shilatankanakalaye Shilatankanakalaye Iton Rishimo Paraton Rishimo Iton Rishimo Paraton Rishimo Yato Yato Yamitaton Rishimo Yato Yato Yamitaton Rishimo Bahir Nishimo Hridaya Nishimo Bahir Nishimo Hridaya Nishimo Nrisimhamadi Sharanya Prabhade Nrisimhamadi Sharanya Prabhade Tavakara Kamalavare Nakama Puta Shringa Talita Hiranyakashipu Danobringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jajagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jajagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Namaste Narasihaya Namaste Narasihaya Pralada Lada Daine Pralada Lada Daine Hiranyakashipu Hiranyakashipu Shilatankanakalaye Shilatankanakalaye Iton Rishimo Paraton Rishio Iton Rishio Paraton Rishio Yato Yato Yamitaton Rishio Yato Yato Yamitaton Rishio Yato Yato Yamitaton Rishio Bahir Nishio Hridayen Rishio Bahir Nishinho Hridayen Nishinho Drishimhamadi Sharanya Prapade Drishimhamadi Sharanya Prapade Tavakara Kamalavara Nakama Puta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jagadishare Jaya Jagadishare Jaya Jagadishare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Keshavadrita Narari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Shri Nrsimha Jaya Janri Simha De Prahlodesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Vrihinga Shri Nrsimha Jaya Janri Simha De Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Vrihinga Shri Nrsimha Jaya Janri Simha De Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Vrihinga Nrsimhade Jaya, Nrsimhade Jaya, Nrsimhade Jaya, Nrsimhade Jaya. Prahlad Nrsimha, Prahlad Nrsimha, Prahlad Nrsimha Jaya, Prahlad Nrsimha. Lakshmi Nrsimha, Lakshmi Nrsimha, Lakshmi Nrsimha Jaya Lakshmi Nrsimha Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Shri Shiranita Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Shri Shiranita Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Shri Shiranita Radha Gopinata Radha Gokulananda Shri Radha Radha Gopinata Radha Gokulananda Shri Radha Radha Gopinata Radha Gokulananda Shri Radha Radhashyam, 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 Jaya Radhashyam. Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jaya Gurudeva. Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jaya Gurudeva. Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Thank you so much for your attention. Um, so, as you all know, I'm not qualified on such topics like Vedic literature or comments on Vedic literature. So, when I try to say something, you should know I'm not trying to instruct anybody. I'm just only trying to understand those topics. And um, uh, of course, one have to try to understand the Vedic literature under the guidance of teachers, under the guidance of uh, guru, um, shiksha guru and diksha, shiksha gurus and diksha guru. All of you who are in Raganuga Bhakti, devotees in Raganuga Bhakti, Vaishnavas in Raganuga Bhakti, and those who are, especially those who are Vaishnavas, devotees in Rupanuga Bhakti, you are all my Shiksha gurus. You are all my gurus. You are all my gurus. Uh, Dandavat Pranam. Greetings and obeisances to all of you. Vanchaka Patrupischa Kripasnikopevacha Patitnam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, thank you so much for your attention.